This is your Thursday live show with Guys at the Bar Talking Sports.
What? Are you doing season 2 of that stupid show?
Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
It's your boy, Hanger, looking for a beer. Actually, we're all looking for a beer, so if you want to buy the guys a beer, at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports on Venmo. That's it. Easy as drinking a beer.
No pressure at all.
Welcome to the new and improved version of Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. It's been a long time since we've been having this show. It feels like a homecoming to me. I mean, it really does. And we got someone back.
Homecoming King.
Homecoming King. Oh yeah, totally the Homecoming King. We're going to crown that on you, my man. I don't even remember what your nickname is. What's your nickname again?
Choppa.
We got Chopper here.
Hey, y'all.
Holy cow. Yeah.
King Choppa.
King Choppa.
You would think it's a new voice, but it's not. He is the original founder
Same
of
old
the
voice.
show. But this is the new and improved show. We've taken 2 weeks off in order to, I don't know, relax a little bit, figure out things, and now we're back doing the same old thing. But
Refinements.
Say what?
Refinements.
Refinement.
Yeah.
So the first refinement is we got Chopper. What are you drinking, Chopper?
I am enjoying a nice cold Yingling right now.
Nice. That sounds delicious.
It is fantastic.
And we got our boy, the Chief. Chief's eating French fries and drinking some water.
Malt vinegar fries.
Basically drinking malt liquor.
Drinking some malt liquor.
Either that or it's straight vodka, Chief.
I don't know.
I'll never tell.
It has a lime in it, or a lemon in it, so I mean it could be. So returning to the show, we got Who's Your Daddy, HD for short. What's up, HD? What are you drinking?
Sitting here drinking a Bud Light.
Bud Light,
Some
okay.
good people.
We can get you, but if it was like a Natty Light, it would be even better, right?
I guess.
Yeah. And then we got the original man himself, fisherman extraordinaire,
Oh, yeah.
winner of bass tournaments across the Southeast, Ripper the Predictor.
Boom.
What you drinking, Ripper?
Tonight I also have a Bud Light in my, looks like my little Coors Light Halloween decorated cup. So.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It looks like a scary mountain man on the back of there. That's pretty
so.
cool.
I think so.
I think I might do my my pumpkin like that this year, since I love Coors Light so much. You're a Coors Light drinker, though. Are you sponsored by them or something?
No, I wish I was, but I'm actually, I'm more of a Busch Light guy. I was more of a Coors Light guy when I was young.
Yeah. Now you're old. Now you're old.
Yeah,
And you're drinking some-
I am. I've got a lot of gray in the beard.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So Busch Light is an acquired taste as you get older.
I think so. It's delicious. Once it hits your lips, it's just, there's no stopping.
Especially in the hot sun on a good day out on a boat, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So it's been a long time since we've done this show. I tried to do a show on my own, and it sucked. Let me tell you, it sucked.
I heard we're going 90 minutes tonight. Is that right?
We're going 90 minutes because we haven't done a show in 3 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah. So
It might be like the show he did by himself at the end.
we've got to win our listeners back, because I think I drove them away with my solo show.
What is our fan base number up to?
Which one?
I cannot say, because there's so many of them.
It's in the millions, probably.
At least, yeah.
We had doubled at one point this year, right?
We did double it, yeah.
And then he did the solo shows.
Then I did the solo show, and that went back down to like
11.
11, maybe 12. I don't know.
But
It was
Choppa's
rough.
back, and it's all going to change.
I am doing a weekend.
Numbers are climbing.
I'm doing
Chief's back.
I'm doing a college football weekend wrap up on Sunday, and then on Tuesday morning I release just an NFL thing, but I'm doing it for like 10 minutes Just the scores and what the quarterbacks did pretty much, and that's it. Nice and easy, but this is the show that is like what people listen to, and I saw the listenership go down when I went on my own, so I'm like, screw this, I'm done. I got my people here, I got some experts, I even got an ex-college basketball player. We're ready to roll. So let's talk some sports. That's what we're gonna do. First thing is going on right now is the Major League playoffs. Gotta talk about that. My girl Cheeks might want to have a conversation about that, so we're gonna go grab her really quick. But here's what's going on. Are you following the baseball at all?
I've watched a little bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Red Sox were up. They looked like the Red Sox were gonna take this series, right? Would you agree with that, Cheeks?
Yes, and then they
Now they're not.
bid it.
Yeah, now it's 3-2.
Yes.
And it's looking like Houston has all the momentum right now.
Unfortunately, the cheaters will probably go all the way.
The cheaters?
Yes.
Explain. Loudly.
2017, they
Sign stealing?
if you could turn a trash can upside down and beat it like a drum, you could win the World Series.
Oh, okay,
Sounds like
yeah.
some bitterness.
It's all
living
part
in
of the game.
past.
Stealing signs. I mean, that's part of the tradition of the game.
What's going on this year?
Loading
Why-
up the baseball.
why are they winning
Same
this year?
category.
Because their coach, their manager, Dusty, is amazing.
Okay.
He is amazing.
We'll get on to the Dodgers really fast because I know that's your team, and then I'll let you run back and do some socialization at the bar.
Nice
I've got
word.
a bottle of wine to drink.
You do have yeah. So, does LA stand a chance right now?
I think that tonight will probably be the death knell.
Tonight is it.
I don't think they've got the momentum. I don't think they've got the power. I think that
They
they're
are
just
playing in
tired.
LA tonight.
Doesn't matter. I think that they're just tired. I think they've had it, and they're not. They don't look like the boys of October that I'm used to.
Okay, so Atlanta is definitely looking solid.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. And every time LA does something, they find a way to answer back and then some.
Okay.
I would love to see Boston and Atlanta play. Kind of a north-south thing.
That would be awesome. Yeah. That would be a
And
fun
I'm
game.
rooting for Boston.
I would root
okay.
for Boston too because I'm a Boston Red Sox fan. I
That's
think
what
everybody
I'm
at this table would root for Boston, right?
Yep. I've been to Fenway.
No,
No?
Yeah.
I pull for Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Well, you're a Southern boy. From or you've lived here a while, right? So, how about you, Ripper?
Go Cleveland.
Go Cleveland.
And Cleveland's new name is?
I don't remember. Like, I just forgot. It's
Have
so
they
horrible.
changed their name now?
Yeah, they changed their name.
It's
The Guardians.
The Guardians. The
For
Guardians.
the two guys at the edge of the bridge.
Are they sponsored by Disney World now or something, or what?
No, they're sponsored by the Space Force, who are also the Guardians.
I don't think a lot of people like this whole Guardians thing right now. But,
Yeah.
Well,
know.
are they going to have to wear the little suits like the Space Force people?
I would prefer Cleveland baseball team over Guardians.
how about Cleveland Native Americans? You know, like, hey,
Well, they'd still have to retire Chief Watt.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Are they allowed to do the do
No,
they
that's
do
a
that
Braves
there?
thing.
Oh, that's a Braves thing. Okay.
And what's
And
nice
Kansas
is,
City
I think it might have been a
and
Major
Florida
League
State
movie,
Seminoles.
but that's about it.
well,
So.
the Chiefs,
They're
how about the
both-
Chiefs?
they do it all
After the
three
season, they're going
places.
to make them change their name?
Are they really?
I
To
don't
the
know.
cheeks. To the cheeks.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, Chief, do you have to change your name?
I know, Chief. Do you have to change your name or
No,
what?
my name is stuck.
Okay.
It's in federal law.
It is, yeah. We have it written into the Constitution as an amendment.
All right, guys.
All right.
Great. I can't wait
Thank
to
you
listen
very
to this
much for
later.
coming
Thanks,
over,
Chief.
Cheeks.
Thank
you.
We needed a woman's voice. So, let's get off of baseball because I don't know.
Because mostly people care about football.
Mostly, especially right now, people care about college football, right? And NFL. But in like the South, and most of our listeners are in South Carolina, all 10 of them, maybe 20.
Isn't there
We
one in
had 11.
Ireland?
Huh?
I thought we had 11.
There's one in Ireland.
Well, we just lost one.
One in Ireland.
We do have one in Ireland,
Nice.
yeah. I know it for a fact because it shows
Shout
up.
out to Ireland.
Shout out to Ireland. Share it with your friends.
Thank you, Ireland.
We'll start talking soccer soon if you'd like us to. No, man. I don't know if I can do that.
They call it football over there.
Football.
Football
Yeah, I
is
know.
life.
I think it's because they found out in Ireland about the show because they searched for football podcasts and they came across our show, listened to it once.
I heard it was because of you,
Probably.
personally.
Yeah, my charismatic character.
That theory
for
is,
sure.
getting passed around right now.
Yeah. So let's jump into some college football. Should we talk college football or NFL first?
Let's go college.
College. Okay.
College comes
NFL if we have time.
Okay, we'll talk NFL.
Big
towards
game
the end of the
tonight.
show. What's up with Auburn? What's
I don't
up
know if
with
there's
Auburn?
going to be enough time.
What's
Am I going to Bed Bath & Beyond? I don't know.
I'm
What's
gonna go
up?
get a water while you
I
talk
don't
about
know.
Auburn.
What's going on with Auburn right now? So,
Well, we're
Matt?
off to a pretty darn good start. 5-2 start, right? Big win over Arkansas.
huge. Yeah.
Huge win over Arkansas.
Have you ever been able to say that? A huge win over Arkansas?
2012, they won the SEC.
You know, there's a lot of huge. You can
East
use that.
or West,
You
I
can
think.
use that example in a lot of different scenarios this year. I think a lot
It's
of
been a
people use
crazy
it.
season.
Crazy season.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
working itself out.
Yeah.
So a 5-2 start, good start. Could very easily be a 7-5 type season. We still have Alabama, Georgia, A&M on the schedule. So tough final stretch. However, if all of those become W's, watch out for these Auburn Tigers.
You don't have Georgia on your
First
schedule.
could be the first 2-loss team on the playoffs.
That's not happening. But
I'm not saying it's
you guys
going
got a great freshman
could,
running
but-
back. He's averaging like 8-7 a pop.
Yeah, he's the backup running back, by the way.
Talk into the
Yeah.
microphone, my man
He's the
Ripper.
backup running back, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that Auburn, obviously they have a chance to go somewhere. They have a tough schedule ahead.
Yep.
Texas A&M, after beating Alabama, has a lot of momentum under their belt. Those boys believe in themselves right now.
They
And they
do, but look at the SEC this year, and I'm thinking that South Carolina's upset for the year is going to be Texas A&M Saturday night.
You think that's the case in
No,
College
not
Station?
maybe at Williams-Brice, not at Kyle Field.
Where was
No.
the last time South Carolina beat Georgia? At Georgia.
But that's different,
Chief,
though.
are you on straight vodka over there?
That's different.
Yeah,
That's different.
the chief has
Yeah.
some vodka in his drink. We all-
Carolina's not beating them at Kyle Field after they beat Alabama. I mean, it's possible, but I just don't see it happening.
It's confirmed. Chief has vodka. Yeah. So,
You can't smell it. He's hiding it with a malt vinegar.
He's got that good stuff.
It smells like feet over here. What's going on? So Texas A&M should be a tough game. Alabama is going to be where it's at, though. That's going to be. You guys got Ole Miss as well to play in a couple weeks. That one I think is winnable. But Alabama, they had one loss, and those guys come back, and they seem like they're ready to win some games.
Yeah.
So
And Iron Bowl's in Auburn this
It's
year.
in Auburn this year. We beat them 2 years ago, so.
now, I could be wrong here, being an outsider looking in at your program. I mean, does this team kind of go where Bo goes? Is that what your offense looks like or not?
Not necessarily. I don't think he's, I think the identity of our offense lies more in the running game than Bo. And I think Bo is a part of that running game, but how successful we are running the ball kind of dictates whether or not we're going to win or not.
So, do you think Alabama will probably load the box and stop that run, attempt to stop that run, and then
Absolutely.
how effective is Bo going to be?
Absolutely. He's going to be on and off. So he could have the game of his life, or he could have the
He had that
the worst
incredible
game
play
ever.
like last week. So.
He's capable of having the game of his life with his arm.
He's
It's just you just don't know which one you're going to get.
Yeah,
Mercurial.
he's like a bipolar teenager, man. That guy,
He is.
1 week he's great, the next week he just can't play. He can't. I mean, it's just not working. When he's running, he's scattering around. He's just having a hard time.
Ever since he got benched, he's come back. He's come back strong. He hasn't played. He's played very strong since he got benched.
So benching a player, you think it's good for their morale to get them to start trying harder, or what?
I think it works for him.
Yeah.
It's not working for Spencer Rattler.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that guy. There's a lot.
We don't know yet.
Yeah. there's a lot going around about Spencer Rattler about just the way that he's responding to this thing. I think it's more a lot
Well,
of
he didn't
BS
have a
right now.
joyous look on his face when the true freshman backup,
Williams? Is that his name?
I think so, Caleb Williams, went in the second half and led his team to victory and then played awesome this past weekend. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't be happy either. As a competitor, he wants to lead the team. And, you know, this true freshman's playing lights out a lot better than what he has all season. So.
Okay. So, that's another thing that they're saying about Anthony Richardson at Florida is that they want him, all the fans want him to play because they think it's going to be a Spencer Rattler situation.
He's going with Emory, right?
He's going with Emory, the experience, but last week he pulled Emory out and put AR-15 in for the second half, scored 4 touchdowns back to back to back, but could not win the game because of a last minute interception. So
now, haven't there been some maybe injury issues with Richardson this year, causing him to maybe not get that kind of exposure?
He had a hamstring issue.
Yeah, slowing him down a little bit.
Yeah, but he's back to clear health.
He's a big dude, isn't he?
He's 6'5", I
thought he was
think.
like 6'6", 240.
240. Yeah, he's a big guy. He gets yards when he runs. Now he's been inconsistent in some of the games. The first couple games he was really good, but they're talking about all the Florida fans are saying that about AR-15. Put him in. They think it's going to be a situation like Williams at Oklahoma. I don't know that that's the case, but we'll see.
Listen, there's nobody who knows better than the coach, in my opinion.
I agree.
So the coach knows who's the best person to put in, so go with him.
So that is going to be my pivot to another conversation.
Pivot.
All right.
Friends thing, sorry.
So what does Dan Mullen, Mike Leach, Scott Frost, Jim Harbaugh, what do they have in common?
They don't have Facebook accounts.
That could be true. I didn't verify that though.
All right, so Dan Mullen, Jim
Mullen,
Harbaugh,
Mike Leach, Scott Frost, and Jim Harbaugh. What do those 4 coaches have in common?
They had the opportunity to hang out with Coach O in Cancun this spring break?
Maybe. But those 4 coaches are always talked about as being coaches that are going to get fired at this point, right? Jim Harbaugh, last couple seasons, Michigan fans hate him. Now they worship the guy because he's 6-0.
I don't think they're. I think it's sort of a Georgia situation where they don't really want to buy in or give in to the hope yet, because Michigan's had some pretty good seasons under Jim Harbaugh, but they haven't been able to win the big games, the bowl games, or the game against Ohio State.
They're 55-22 under Jim
That's
Harbaugh.
a really good record.
That is a great record, yeah, I agree. So,
Problem is they haven't beaten Ohio State in how many years?
Since he's been there, and it's been, I think, 8 years, maybe 9 years.
And that's a big deal to Michigan fans.
So who's
and it's
your daddy?
an even bigger deal to Ohio State fans. We love that stuff.
Let's bring my man Who's Your Daddy in this conversation because he does not like that team up west at all.
Team up north.
He does not like that team up north at all.
And I guarantee you, LSU is not knocking on Harbaugh's door for the job opening. And the man had to take a pay cut this year to continue to keep his job. But I'm sure all the people up north are happy with where they are. I mean, to be undefeated at this point in time.
But, you know, LSU kind of, the whole Les Miles, that quirky head coach, that quirky personality, that worked there for a while, got him a championship. You know, if they mutually decide to part ways, and Jim still wants to coach, which I believe he does, because he's still fairly young. He's 50, 52 years old, maybe.
Yeah, he's young.
That might be a decent fit. I just don't know if he's ready to go up in the SEC. But he could be looking long term and realize that, you know, Nick Saban's not going to be around much longer. That's going to leave
Nick Saban? He's 70, right?
72, I think.
Yeah. I wouldn't see him coaching any more than 3 more years. That might be a possibility. I would have to go against Who's Your Daddy and say that might work.
You talking about Harbaugh at LSU?
Maybe.
Okay.
That's never ending going to happen.
So I don't.
That is never ending.
I agree with who's your daddy. That is 100% never,
Why?
ever
That is
going to
never
happen.
going to happen.
It's never going to
I
happen.
don't see it.
LSU football is not going to take a step back and hire the guy from the
Do you,
team up north.
do you think that's a step back from Ed Ogeron?
No, Jim Harbaugh will not even be considered.
No, he won't.
No.
But I don't want to. I don't want to
Who,
get too.
who can they consider?
They're not.
There's going to be. I don't know what
They'll
LSU's going to do
consider
in that
Jimbo,
situation.
Lane Kiffin. Who's the coach at Michigan State? That
Yeah,
guy.
he's been one of them
They're gonna
talked about.
consider him.
Yeah.
Is it Mel Tucker, I think?
Yeah, Mel Tucker.
Sounds right. So
I think it's going to be Lane Kiffin.
why are these? My question of the day is this: why are why are programs so quick to fire a coach?
Well, Michigan, Harbaugh's been there like 6 years.
He's seven. This is his 7th season.
Right,
He's
so-
doing fine, but
You get over 5 years, that's pretty good. You
but for
know
the
what you're dealing with.
For the last 2 years or 3 years, all I've heard is Anthony, owner of this bar, talking about they need to fire him. But now everyone's in love with the guy. Oh,
I know.
look, it's 6
I'm
and
not
6.
buying they're in love with him, though.
They're not, but they're having an affair with him right now.
Yeah, I mean, he played there.
They're
He was their
definitely
quarterback.
banging him on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, he was meant to coach for Michigan.
Yeah. So my point is, like, I just don't. I think it's too quick to judge because he's been there for 7 seasons, and this is the season that he has a team that's put together that's under their control.
So once you've been in the head coach for 5 years, you've had over 4 years to recruit your players and install your offensive or defensive scheme. So that is now your team.
I agree with
That
you.
gives you another year or 2 to see if it can be successful.
So 7 years is a good point to start looking at it.
It is what it is
I think
at that
5
point.
years is good.
Five. Okay.
You know what you're getting at that point.
Yeah, I think 5
You
years
know what
is
your
a good
program
number.
is going to be at that point.
So my thought on that is this, though. The first year you're recruiting kids, you don't have any
You're
history
playing with
to go
somebody
on.
else's team at Ogeron.
Well, but everyone that you recruit that after that first season, right? Everyone that you recruit after that first season, you don't have a history, you don't have a culture. You have you and your crew, and that's it. To talk about getting a few key players, and that's all. Third season, a little bit more. Fourth season, you have a culture going. Fifth season, you should start getting star players, but by the 6th and 7th season, that's when it really starts to roll.
So I think to answer your question is, why are some of these coaches on a short lease, on a short timeline?
3 to 4 seasons.
The answer is money.
gone.
They're getting paid $5 to $10 million a year to coach.
But in the SEC, you're not going to win the SEC every year.
Right, so what's your goal? 8 wins.
Well, you look at LSU. What's their goal? To
Well-
win conference championships and national championships.
And they
That's
have
what
one.
the AD said. The last 2 years, they took a step back.
But that's not why Ogeron got
According to their
fired.
standards.
Ogeron got fired because he was trying to womanize.
Oh, he's got all these off-field issues.
Yeah. He was trying to womanize like
It's becoming a
one
huge
administrator in
liability.
LSU's wife at a gas station. So he was doing a lot of things different. Even when they were successful, it wasn't because of him. He was the big, loud, grumpy motivator guy that was the face of the program, but it was his offensive and defensive coordinators that were doing all the work behind the scenes that made that team successful. Oh, by the way, they had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he had lost the team at that point, and as well lost the coaches, right? I don't think, from what I read, nobody really wanted to be there under him.
The players and the other coaches.
No, I mean the players
Okay.
and the coaches couldn't even take him seriously.
Okay.
So how
So
can you?
Coach O is
He's an outlier.
An outlier.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen, everyone, Gator. This is my experience. I follow it. I watch every press conference that Dan Mullen does. Right. I follow a lot of different Facebook groups about the Florida Gators, and last season everyone loves the guy. Third season there. He went, I think it was 10-2 his first season, 8-4 last season. I can't remember what the other season was, but then this season he has 3 losses right now, possibly 4 against Georgia, and everyone's calling for his head already. And
So-
I think that is a terrible idea because what's Florida going to do for the next 3 seasons if they fire Dan Mullen this year? We're going to have to build back up.
And I think ultimately that's the problem with handling success. I mean, you got to think. Florida fans became accustomed to what Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer brought to the table. Before that, you weren't winning national championships. You weren't competing in the SEC every year. But with those two, you were. So that became the raised bar level of standard put on basically by the fans, and that had been communicated,
And watch
Alabama, Bear Bryant, and now Nick Saban.
Yeah. The years in between weren't so great.
No, they were terrible.
Watch might see Florida hiring Coach O as their line coach for next year. That's already been talked about.
Yeah.
I think Kiffin is a good prospective coach for them, but I don't know that they would hire Kiffin because of his association with Coach O. They won like 2 or 3 staffs together.
Hey, that's a good point. You bring up a great point because they both coached. Actually, Ogeron coached under Lane Kiffin at USC.
And I think he was
a great point. I forgot about that.
2 or 3 times I read where he was under Kiffin.
So
good point.
So
great point.
But a great fit. Kiffin a great fit there.
Can they get Jimbo Fisher away from A&M?
Who get Jimbo Fisher?
LSU.
Jimbo's getting a lot of money though, isn't he?
He's
Money talks.
And a 0 buyout clause
10 years,
in his contract.
Right.
And he has no buyout. He can walk away at any time.
So, I don't know. I think Jimbo's built a pretty good program at Texas A&M, and I don't see him leaving.
I don't see him leaving if they win, say, the next 2 or 3 big games.
That's a good point.
Because he's beaten Alabama.
If the pressure mounts at A&M, because if you lose more than, you get down to like a 7-5, kind of 8-4 program at A&M, when they were expecting big things this year, there's going to be a lot of pressure. Right. Can he just bail at that point and go to LSU?
For this year, he has nothing else to prove because he said they were going to beat their asses, and they did. So for this year, he's good. He has nothing else to accomplish.
He's good, but I'm just saying, what's the rest of the season look like? Back to my
For
upset
LSU?
comment.
You lose to Carolina and Auburn, or then suddenly that Alabama win doesn't look like much.
Yeah, especially if you lose South Carolina.
LSU job looks pretty good.
Yes,
exactly.
Real good.
In fact,
real good.
I wouldn't be surprised if he took the LSU job if he loses to South Carolina this weekend.
But you gotta think, last season Texas A&M had a rough start and then they went undefeated afterwards. And I'm thinking that might happen again this season. Who knows?
I'll tell you who I would like to see take that job.
At LSU.
Yes.
Who?
Joe Brady.
Why?
He was their offensive coordinator when they won the national championship.
Oh, okay.
Now he's with Carolina. I would love to see him come back because he was one of those key pivotal pieces that led them to the national championship. And I'm pretty sure he proved pretty decent at assembling, a quality coaching staff. Probably the old regime minus Ed Ogeron.
Yeah.
And get things back on track.
I'm pretty sure he'll be in the mix.
Okay. So back to my original question. 4 years is too short, or is that plenty of time before they should fire a coach? 5 years.
I'm saying 5 years.
5 minimum. Yeah.
Unless there's some issues going on.
Right. So Scott Frost is done at Nebraska.
Has he been there 5 years yet?
This will be his 5th season.
Listen,
this is his 5th season.
Nebraska needs to reset their expectations on football. The way football was played in the 90s and the way football is played now, 2 totally different styles of football.
Nebraska's what?
The stepchild of the Big Ten.
Okay.
They almost don't belong there. I was surprised they didn't look at going back into the Big 12 when Texas and Oklahoma announced they were leaving. Because, think about it. Nebraska football in the Big 12 is a powerhouse. Nebraska football in the Big 10 is kind of like,
Well, I disagree. When you think about the Nebraska teams that were dominating the Big 12, that's Big 10 football.
Yes,
so I think they're a good match. The problem is, since they've been in the Big 10, they haven't had that level of talent, and they haven't really had that offensive scheme. If they get back to that power running, quarterback option offense, that could really be effective in the Big 10. Strong defense, strong running game, throw it when you need to. That could lead to success in the Big 10.
Yeah. I agree with that. So, Nebraska now is way different. The Big Ten's different. Ohio State, Michigan, Like those Eastern teams are able to recruit a lot better than the Western teams. Iowa maybe is able to recruit now, but that's not too often.
They were able to recruit till just before Saturday.
Well,
yeah.
Again, I mean, they've had great coaching. They've had great coaching for a long time.
Purdue is a sleeper school this year.
Yeah. Oh, they've
been playing good.
I said that they're a team that can upset somebody. They've always been that way, though. They can come in and win games.
They have the most wins over a top 2 team than anybody else does, being a non-ranked team.
Yeah.
13 wins is a non-ranked team over a top 2 team.
They're like the Kentucky of the Big Ten. They can come in and just do something, you know? We got to get off this subject, though, because we've been going for 30 minutes, and we're going to move on to the next subject.
It's a 90-minute show, right?
We're going, oh, that's right. So we can keep on going on.
I'm kidding.
All right. Let's talk about the top 25 matchups this season, or this week, that's coming up. There are no top 25 matchups this week. There's not.
So we're going to talk about the top 25 matchups, but there's no top 25.
No, sorry. There's no matchups of top. We're going to talk about the top 25.
No ranked schools playing a ranked school.
That's it. Yeah. So I want to start off by saying this: Cincinnati is probably the best team in the group of 6. Are they the best team? Are they the second best team in the country? And are they the best team in Ohio?
Well,
so let's start.
They're playing Notre Dame this weekend, right?
No, they've already played Notre Dame and they beat them.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're playing Navy this weekend.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's not.
27.5 point favorite.
The only team that they're playing this season besides Notre Dame that's ranked is SMU. And SMU, who are they? They're never really ranked in the first place.
Well, they beat an Indiana team that was ranked when they beat them.
Oh, they beat Indiana. SMU did.
All right.
No. Cincinnati.
Beat Indiana.
So they had to come from behind to beat Indiana.
Yeah. But we found out Indiana's not really all that.
All of their losses have come against teams ranked in the top 10.
Okay. Well, they're in the Big Ten, so they got to be able to compete.
How about Oklahoma State, Iowa
Indiana's
State?
in the Big Ten, so they have to be able to compete, or they have to be able to play. They're going to play those teams anyway, is what I mean. So they've lost those games, but they're not that good of a team. I mean, Indiana's not that good of a team.
I think they're better than the record says. They lost to Cincinnati, who's number 2. They lost to Iowa, who's now number 11. They lost to Penn State, and I don't know who their 4th team was, but they were in the top 10 when they lost.
Okay.
The reason they lost at Cincinnati, who's now the number 2 ranked team, they were winning that game. They were up by like 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Like one of their best defensive players got called for a pretty questionable targeting call and was out the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That changed the entire game. Turned around. Cincinnati came back from behind, won that game.
Okay.
If that guy doesn't get called for targeting, Cincinnati probably loses that game.
I remember that game. So how good is Cincinnati then? What do you think? Chief, hook me up. How good is Cincinnati?
I think they're top 10 team, but I don't think they're really number 2. Strength of schedule is
they're like 30th, I think, or 36th.
It's kind of like saying an ACC school that wins all but one game is number 2 in the nation.
Yeah.
It's just not there. Strength of schedule.
It's a different beast playing in the Big Ten or the SEC than it is playing in, what are they? They're not Conference USA, they're AAC, right?
And I'll agree with Chief. They're in the top 10, but they're probably the second best team in Ohio. In my belief.
Are you going to start calling them the
I would
team
love to see, in all seriousness, I wish Cincinnati and Ohio State were meeting.
We may get to. We may get to.
That would be great.
Do you think that the playoff commission is going to put Cincinnati in the top 4?
If they go undefeated, I do.
Yeah, if they go undefeated.
First week comes out next week. Are they going to be in the top 4 next week?
Right now, they're number 2 in both the AP and the coaches, and I know that kind of doesn't necessarily matter with the playoffs, but if they can continue to run the table by an average of 2 to 3 touchdowns per game,
right?
There's no reason they shouldn't be in.
I think that's key too.
Two-loss
Absolutely.
team wins the SEC?
Absolutely. The only loss Notre Dame has is to Cincinnati.
So, I just don't know, man.
And they have to run the board on every game they play, though. You can't beat Navy by 7 and stay number 2 in the Navy.
Don't make a mistake. Cincinnati is not Coastal Carolina. This isn't an upstart program. Luke Nichols has been there for about 5 or 6 years now, and he has changed that entire program since he took over. And it wasn't in a bad place. About 5 years before he got there, Chip Kelly was there. Probably not even that long. Chip Kelly was there. Chip Kelly really turned that program around. This isn't a weak, non-Power 5 program. They've got some skill. They've got some talent.
But
they're bringing in 4 and 5 star recruits.
But they didn't let UCF into the top 4 back in 2017, 2018 when they went undefeated. They were running the table on everybody.
But they didn't play Notre Dame or Indiana. They didn't have that key signature win.
But
if they would have beaten Notre Dame, probably a different story.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. That's just their strength of schedule is still. I mean, they're like 36 in the nation or something like that for strength of schedule. Yeah. When you look at Ohio State, strength of schedule is in the top 15. You look at Alabama, top 5. You
can only play your schedule.
Right. You can only play your schedule.
And they have done what they needed to do to improve outside of their conference schedule.
Yeah.
Last year, Indiana was in the top 10 when they, like in the 4th week. They went 6-2 last year.
So I'm pretty convinced that they're going to let Cincinnati in. I mean,
well, Cincinnati's got to win.
Yeah. No, they're not going to let them in. If they win out, they're gonna do it. The only challenge they're going to have is against SMU, who's undefeated right now as well.
Well, SMU's playing Tulane right now.
Oh crap! They sure are.
I'll tell you what, though,
it just started.
That's a game that I thought could be an upset.
You get in, is it another? Oh, Notre Dame made the Final Four again, and they're going to get killed by Alabama.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
What happens?
Probably.
It's going to be another situation like that.
So then, does that level set why do we even let these teams in?
Or is it going to be a Boise State versus Oklahoma in a BCS game?
Which is why I would like to see us get to a larger playoff.
Gotcha.
Here's an upset I think could happen this weekend.
Oh, you are transitioning over to my upsets.
Well, I've been reading your notes.
All right, so...
No, I'm just kidding.
So, I'm going to predict the biggest upset of the week is going to be App State is going to be Coastal Carolina, okay?
You sure about that one?
Yeah.
It's going to be 30-27 with a last second field goal to win the game.
How many yards is a field goal?
42.
Hey, along the same lines with the discussion with Tennessee is Coastal Carolina the best team in South Carolina?
I would say that's true.
Right now?
Yeah. Really?
They're the highest ranked team in South Carolina.
If you lined up Coastal Carolina against Clemson 10 times, how many times would Coastal Carolina beat Clemson?
Once.
Twice.
3 times a lady.
So are they the best team?
This year is one of those 2 times.
I would say Clemson's still the best team in the state. Except for that Presbyterian College team up there with that one coach.
Does Winthrop have a team?
Huh?
Winthrop, do they have a team?
Winthrop would be the best college team in South Carolina.
They're undefeated still.
Oh, are they? Wow.
Yeah, they've never lost a game. Ever.
Okay. Chief, give me an upset. We'll talk about it.
All right. Oklahoma State, number 8 in the nation. They're 6-0. They're rolling into Iowa State. Iowa State is 4-2. They hit their groove. I think Iowa State wins at home.
Iowa State is a 7-point favorite right now in that game. Is what I heard that on the radio today. Even though Oklahoma State is 6-0, I think Oklahoma State's going to win that game. Man, the Cowboys are good this year.
Yeah,
they really are. And Iowa State.
What are they?
They're supposed to be good this year, but they're not.
They're not ranked.
The
other game that I think has a potential upset, and I want to get the Big Ten input over here, is Wisconsin is coming down to Purdue. Purdue's number 25.
And Wisconsin's not ranked, right?
Wisconsin's not ranked. They're 3-3. Purdue is 4-2. Purdue has that big win over Iowa they're coming off of. Does Wisconsin have a chance?
Wisconsin's favored.
Oh, Wisconsin. Yeah. Wisconsin's going to win that game. They're not.
Going to win that game, man.
The number 25 team versus an unranked team, that's kind of like an even matchup, you know? Tennessee versus Alabama.
I want to see it, but I won't put money on it.
It's at Alabama. I say no way. I bet Alabama takes this one by a minimum of 2 touchdowns.
24.5 point favorite.
Oh no, then it's going to be more like 4 touchdowns.
So does Alabama even cover the spread?
I think they do.
I think they do also.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can Navy beat Cincinnati?
No.
Real quick. No chance.
If they're still running the triple option, there's always an opportunity.
Navy is 1-5. First of all, they're traditionally not a great team outside of playing like the Ivy League and the other academies. They're 1-5 this year. They're not even good as an academy.
So no chance, obviously. Okay. Ohio State versus Indiana. You, my man, Ripper the Predictor, were just saying how good Indiana is. Now, were you only saying that? Were you only saying that because you were trying to boost up this game this weekend? Or are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious. Problem is, offensively, they're having a hard time. Last year, Michael Penix, their quarterback for Indiana,
Indiana's having a hard time. Okay.
lit us up for like 491 passing yards. The first 3 games of the season, Ohio State's offense was horrible. We made some adjustments, put our defensive coordinator, took him off the field, put him in the box. Somebody else is calling the plays for our defense. And there's been marked improvement on the field and on the scoreboard.
They're playing some of the best football in college football right now.
Yeah, offensively, the best.
Yeah, defensively, still doing well.
The line is 21.
Do they cover the spread?
I think they do. I think Ohio State covers the spread. Because
so you would not have said that 3 weeks ago, though.
No, 3 weeks ago, I would have called this to be an upset.
You would have, okay.
Absolutely.
But Ohio State's been playing good football recently.
A lot has changed.
They're coming off of a bye week. I think that they'll win. I don't think Indiana has a chance, but you were talking about how good Indiana is, so I thought that you might call this a possible upset.
No, so it's been 3 weeks since we've been doing this, and a lot's changed since then. I'm starting to get on that bandwagon and believe in my team a little more.
Good.
And I'll just leave it at that.
All right. How about number 10 Oregon visiting UCLA? I know it's a Pac-10 game, but
UCLA was in the top 25 earlier this season.
The line is UCLA by 1, and they're
against Oregon.
Oregon is coming into UCLA. Yeah,
I like UCLA to win that.
UCLA is 5-2. Oregon's 5-1.
Which means just basically a pick 'em.
Mm-hmm. They stand a chance, yeah. I mean, in that
It
case.
must have went down because I had it 2.5 points.
Is Notre Dame?
UCLA was favored.
Yeah, they're favored by 1 here, and we could be using different sources.
Yeah. Is Notre Dame gonna beat University of Southern California?
It's at Notre Dame.
Number 13, Notre Dame. It's at Notre Dame. Okay.
Well, it does matter. So it's Notre Dame by 7. It's at Notre Dame. I think the weather is going to be a factor. If the weather's nice, that helps USC. If the weather's crap, if it's wet, if it's blowing, I think that really will help Notre Dame because that's their home turf. They can play in that weather. USC, if it's below 70 degrees, they think it's winter.
Okay. Last one, Texas A&M Gamecocks. Choppa.
A&M all the way.
Okay, A&M all the way. I'm in agreement with that. My man, the Chief, earlier you said you think it's going to be an upset. What's going on there? Why do you think?
Well, so South Carolina's 4-3. The line is 19.5. But South Carolina typically has one game where they play like they don't play that way the rest of the season. And I'm looking and I'm thinking,
Chief, that might have been the Kentucky game.
but they win. And so I'm just thinking if there's any chance that Texas A&M is a little too up on themselves from last week, South Carolina is tired. You know, they desperately want an SEC win.
If Texas A&M loses, they need to fire their coach and send them to LSU.
Well, and here's my prediction.
LSU won't want it if you loses to Carolina.
It would be great if South Carolina wins, but if they don't win, I bet they still cover. I bet South Carolina beats the spread.
Okay, we're gonna pivot now to the NFL.
Pivot.
And my man, I just noticed, my man, the Chief, does not have 50 pages of notes this week. What's going on, Chief?
Believe it or not, I had to work.
What? No. All right. NFL, crazy season right now.
Yep.
Arizona, undefeated. They're the only undefeated team. Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Baltimore, and Dallas are all 5-1. Dak Prescott at Dallas is looking freaking phenomenal. Is this Dallas' season to make it to the Super Bowl? Like, everyone disses Dallas, but Dak Prescott is looking on point. He's putting up 300 yards a game. He's third leading quarterback in the country, I think, right now.
So Dallas will go as far as Dak takes them. Dak was the best quarterback in the league last year until he broke his leg and was nasty. Right now, I think he's got some health concerns. I think he just had an MRI on something. So if he can stay healthy, they got a chance to, move kind of deep in the playoffs this year.
But if he's not, then they're going to fall apart.
That's it, absolutely.
5-1, man. That's pretty strong right now, though.
They're normally
Dallas
8-18.
Weekend off.
I didn't look at the schedule before the show. We can always have our people in the back look it up, but we'll
Send it to the back.
Send it to the back. So, Tampa Bay, though, man, Tom Brady is looking phenomenal. He's putting up 350 to 450 yards a game. Best season he's had yet, I think.
I thought he might break the passing yardage record and touchdown record with 17 games. He might do it in 15 games this year.
It's crazy. It's crazy what he's doing there. And if you watch, he could basically have a picnic on the frickin' field before he gets even touched by another lineman.
So they're hosting the Bears.
Oh, yeah, so they're going to win that game, not a problem at all.
Let's go, Justin Fields.
Well, and the Cardinals, who are 6-0, they got the 1-5 Texans coming to visit them.
Yeah, I actually remember looking at some of these. There's not going to be that many upset possibilities in the NFL.
Yeah, you can get beat by any team on any Sunday.
The question is, can the Giants win at home with the Panthers coming in?
Can the Giants win at home with the Panthers coming in? The Giants are really bad this year. The Panthers are pretty
good.
They're pretty good, yeah.
I think they're 4-2.
Yeah.
3-3.
I wouldn't say they're exceptional, but they're playing good football. So I think that the Panthers will win that game without a problem.
How about the bottom of the barrel bowl, the Jets and the Patriots?
Jets are really rough this year, man.
It's at New England.
I'll go Pats.
Now, yeah, so the Pats are having a better season. They have a better squad out there than the Jets for sure. Both of them have rookie quarterbacks, so I don't think that there's going to be anything dynamite going on with that game. Baltimore Ravens, okay? Lamar Jackson is looking on fire this season, guys.
He's always on fire.
They destroyed the LA Chargers last week, 34-6. LA is supposed to be the best team in the country.
Who's your daddy? Bengals are visiting Baltimore this weekend. What's your take?
Baltimore.
Baltimore's going to win?
I think Baltimore will win. We had Baltimore at a 6.5-point favorite. I think they'll cover.
All right. So that's our quick recap of the NFL. I don't have any other questions on that, except for the fact that, I don't know. I'm looking at Lamar Jackson. I thought he's doing pretty good. There's a lot to see in the NFL right now, but I think if we're looking at the teams, the Chiefs are looking rough. That's your team right there, right?
Yeah, that's my son's team.
Oh, that's not your team? Okay, I thought for some reason that was your team. So they're looking rough this season, but they can salvage their season. Do you think so, Chief? Can the Chiefs salvage their season?
I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs.
They're 3-3.
How are you in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row and then end up just falling apart?
They could have very easily lost the first game to Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. It is. I don't even know what's going on. And then Patrick Mahomes' mother has to get in and wants to change NFL rules.
Well,
Is that really true, or is that just a meme?
No, it's true.
and his wife has spoken up too about a lot of things.
Interception rules? Is that what it was?
Patrick Mahomes' mother.
The question was, can the Chiefs salvage their season 3-3?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, 3-3, anybody can salvage their season.
Patrick Mahomes is the reason.
Yeah. So the Tampa Bay Bucks were 3-3 at this point in the season last year as well, and then they ended up winning all their games and they won the Super Bowl. So
they could be 14-3.
Yeah.
When it ends. I mean,
all you need to be is 11-6 to get in the playoffs. Once you're in the playoffs, anything could happen.
Yep.
So should we go 90 minutes or should we cut it off now? Okay, that's a good point, guys. 90 minutes too long. I'm sorry, all the fans that really want to listen.
I will have way too much alcohol in my system after 90 minutes.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. So keep on coming back every week. 2 shows that are just recaps and 1 show every Thursday. This is your live show of Guys at the Bar talking
sports.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, how can I help these guys out? Well, first thing you can do, subscribe to the show. By subscribing to the show, you'll be able to hear it every single week on your favorite podcatcher. Second thing you do, if your podcatcher lets you do it, give it a review and 5 stars. I know Apple Podcasts will allow you to do that. So give it 5 stars and a review. And then the third thing you do is hop on Facebook, type in Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. You'll see our group there. Join it. You'll love it. Best sports group on Facebook, guaranteed. Lots of good stuff going on in there, so check it out. And then come back next week for Guys at the Bar Talking Sports.